Rewatch Blade. Does Blade hold up? Like and subscribe. So, I was trying to look for negatives in this movie. Very few negatives. Negatives, CGI, not really. I don't know how much of the movie, budget. I don't know what it's like back in the 90s trying to make a superhero movie. Today, you get those movies are funded with $100 million. The ending gets over the top. Frost trying to recreate La Magra has all these council members getting shocked by lightning, and you have these gigantic demonic skeletons flying into him. So the ending gets over the top, but overall, this is a pretty flawless movie for what it's trying to be. It is a very interesting, unique superhero movie that is so different than what you see that I'm like, this movie needs to be more famous. I mean, it's famous. Blade's famous, and it's had somewhat of a resurgence, but I feel like it needs to be on the Mount Rushmore of superhero movies. Because Marvel movies are great, they're all pretty good. But this existed at a time where it had nothing to stand on, and it was so unique and so interesting. It is directed with such style, flair, cool editing. This is the epitome of cool. This movie is so cool. I would use that word right on the poster. This is the coolest movie ever. The music choice is awesome. The editing is so unique and weird. The cinematography is so interesting. Blade, played by Wesley Snipes, is just badass. His outfit's fucking cool. The girl who played Karen is great. And usually, nowadays you have a lot of girl power moments where the side girl has to, show it to the man and kick some guy's ass in some unrealistic way. No, this girl felt like a normal person in this scenario, and I was here for it. Whistler, badass motherfucker with a mouth, felt like an old man. He didn't feel like he overstepped his bound. So this vampire movie is more realistic than any other superhero thing you're going to watch. No one felt like they could do more than they actually could. Blade felt like he was fighting something he couldn't beat. Deacon Frost felt like a realistic, understandable villain. Had very great psychopathic motivations. Stephen Dorff is phenomenal. I love his character. I love that Hispanic gorgeous girl playing Mercury. Everyone in this movie is grounded, even though they're in a vampire, stylish superhero film. The fight scenes, I've seen much better fight scenes in movies, but they're just done with the editing and the music in a very cool way. They could have been done a lot better, but they're still very entertaining. I like that Blade is this badass, quiet type, but then he gets into kung fu mode and he's making faces. I like that he has those little moments where you can tell he's having a good time. Where he's like, that introduction where he slaughters everyone in the club, that is how you introduce the character. That's one of the best introductions of any superhero in history. That's probably my favorite of all time. That might be my favorite. But I watched it and I was like, damn, that is iconic. That is an iconic introduction. All these vampires and they're all covered in blood. The one human guy who's about to be turned in this orgy of vampires' meat is just crawling over the Blade. He gets to the shoe and just pans up. The amount of movies that probably copied that, I was like, wow, what a badass way to do. You see the vampires running, getting out of the little shower room behind him. He's a standard, this tall, dark figure with his head down. He just lifts up sunglasses, even though he's underground and in a dark area. And he's just kicking ass and taking names and having a blast. I love Quinn, played by Donald Logue. His character is so fun and wacky and crazy. This movie is the coolest superhero movie ever made. That's the best adjective. The coolest superhero movie ever made. I would give it a solid A. Because it knows what it's doing. It knows what it wants to be. And it existed in a time where everything was stacked against it. Superhero movies were not the norm. And it has withheld 23 years of people knowing it exists and still talking about it. I like it more than I like the second one. I do. I'm going to watch the second one again. I read the third one is entertaining garbage. It has its moments, but it's really stupid, especially because Ryan Reynolds he doesn't fit in this universe because he plays himself in every movie. But rewatch Blade. This kick-ass movie. I think it's on Peacock. That's the worst name and the worst app ever. But love Blade. When's the last time you've seen Blade? You think it's overrated? You think it's underrated? I think it's underrated. Badass movie. Loved every second of it.